Hey guys, my name is Eric Barbour and I help eye surgeons grow their practices. And today we're going to be talking about what is SEO and how it works. To begin with, let's make sure we understand what SEO stands for. SEO stands for Search Engine Optimization. And most of you are probably familiar with the larger search engines that we need to optimize for. That would be Google, Bing, and Yahoo. They provide the person searching online with results based on the search terms or keywords they use. And a search term or keyword could be anything from how much does LASIK cost, to LASIK versus smile, to cataract surgery recovery time. I mean, any of these or any one of these search terms may be typical of someone who's beginning the process of considering one of these types of procedures. So whenever someone enters one of these keywords online in the search bar, your goal is to show up near the top of the SERPs for those keywords. Now, what are SERPs? SERPs stands for Search Engine Results Pages. These are simply the pages that appear after entering a search term like the ones we just mentioned and hitting the enter button. As you can see here, the paid ads normally appear at the top of the SERPs and the organic results show below that. Typically, the results from the Google Maps would display between these two as well, but the organic search results are what we want to make sure that we're optimizing for in this particular instance. Although there are several search engines, at the end of the day, for all intents and purposes, SEO is focused on optimizing for Google. I mean, look at these stats. Google dominates online searches. Here we can see they have upwards of 92% of worldwide market share for online searches. I mean, that's just absolutely incredible. Look, I get it. Everybody wants to show up higher in the search engine rankings, and who is to blame them? But I can't think of any other topic in digital marketing that has caused as much confusion as SEO. I mean, there are a million options you can pursue, and there's probably someone calling you every day telling they can get you to page one, right? Well, to get a better understanding of SEO, let's take a look in the Wayback Machine to understand the logic behind Google, how Google was formed. I think that will give us a better understanding of what we need to do to be successful with SEO today. You know, just to kind of go back in history, I graduated from business school at Duke in 1998, and I can vividly remember the dot-com boom that was taking place at the time. At the time, there was a proliferation of internet search engines as well, and it was relatively easy to rank high on those search engines. You simply need to make sure your chosen keyword appeared as many times as possible on your website. For example, you sold dog food, if you sold diapers, or if you even sold knives online, whatever it was, you simply had to make sure that those specific keywords appeared as many times as possible on your site. However, two PhD students thought they had a better way, so they founded Backrub. I bet you thought I was going to say that they founded Google, right? That's right. Google was originally called Backrub. And what made it unique from the other search engines was that instead of the number of times a keyword appeared, it analyzed the number and importance of web pages that link back to your original website. These were known as backlinks. The more pages that link back to your website, the more Backrub felt that your content was important. And as a result, the higher your website would rank. This was referred to as PageRank. And PageRank can simply be thought of the amount of influence and authority you had, right? If people link back to your website, then they feel that you're influential and authoritative. Ultimately, Backrub changed its name to Google in 1997, but since then, Google has evolved to become even more complex, and changes and updates are made to the Google algorithm all the time. I mean, last year alone, there are almost 900,000 updates launched to Google's algorithm, and that pace doesn't seem like it's slowing down at all. Keeping up with all these changes can seem daunting, but the fundamental concept remains the same. Providing meaningful and relevant content will always be rewarded handsomely in the search engine rankings. So now that we understand the thinking behind what Google is trying to accomplish, let's look at how to rank high in the search engine results pages. In its simplest form, ranking well on Google comes down to two main buckets that we need to focus on. These two buckets are OnPage SEO and OffPage SEO. On-page SEO is just what it sounds like. It refers to the infrastructure on your site, in other words, optimizing the source code and content of the pages of your website so that you rank higher and earn more relevant traffic from the search engines. This is the more technical aspect of SEO, but Google wants to know that the pages on your website are well laid out, the images are appropriately named, the content is well organized, and that it makes sense, and whether or not your site loads quickly, amongst a few other things. If you're unsure whether or not your site is optimized correctly from an on-page SEO perspective, I encourage you to have someone perform an SEO audit so you can determine whether or not you have any deficiencies. The other major bucket is off-page SEO, which refers to actions taken outside of your website to impact your rankings. Bottom line, this refers to how many people find your content value and authoritative and link back to it. The easiest way to tackle this is to think about all the items and questions that are top of mind for your ideal patient and make sure the content on your website addresses those items and concerns. When you're focused on being influential and authoritative, people will link to your site and you will have laid a solid foundation for off-page SEO. Okay, that's it for today. If you thought this information was valuable, please like and subscribe to our channel. Until next time, thanks for listening.